Hey guys, we're going to do a deck construction video now. Let's check it out. Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? Sorry for that long intro, had to get a couple of things set, but let's go ahead and rock this, shall we? Today, we're going to be looking at Lion Clan deck construction. I understand that my opinion is just one opinion. You don't have to agree, you don't have to even particularly follow along, but I know that a few people have been having trouble figuring out where, the clan kind of fits. And I think I, as a Lion player from the old L5R game, can definitely attest that I feel that way right now. I feel like Lion is having a bit of a hard time in what it's trying to do. And I think that right now there are a few primary options that work very well, and a few that don't work at all. So, let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to take a look at the brand new stronghold. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I'm going to call it Toride. Toride. There you go. It's Toride. So, we're going to begin by talking about just the basic idea you want for the deck. It wants to swing multiple times a turn. And I feel that you can achieve this in one of two ways. There's probably the more consistent style where you are only swinging twice a turn, but you're passing your first conflict and going very heavy on one military to then trigger it and get a second one right after. Typically you would do this if you were playing a bigger guy deck, you were running charge and doing things like that. And I think that that is a great strat, and if that's the way you want to go, mazel tov. I also think in that instance, for a little bit of switch variety, you should be running a Unicorn Ally. Captive Audience with the big guy deck is pretty nasty, especially if you're going to try to swing twice, because you're probably so focused into your military to make sure that one hits for above 5. Different things like that. Or you can run the lots of weenies build. We just have a bunch of dudes and then we hit them with multiple, static buffs. We're going to go actually for a bit of a mix of it, but leaning more towards the weenie build, quite honestly. And in that build, I think that a fun way of doing it would be to mix in Crane. That's the ally we're going to go today. So, we're going to begin with our Dynasty deck. One thing that I always start with is my holdings. I definitely think having a solid holding foundation is key. And let's go over the couple that I would definitely run. I am a huge fan of Favorable Ground. I think that most people are. I don't think I need to explain why it's good. But for Lion, in those Dishonor games, sometimes being able to just move in a bowed defender is great. And it's not too bad if you swing in and they defend and they, Kanjo district out your brawler. Well, you can bounce her back in and still hit with the ability. Her force or, military skill won't be added, but, what are you going to do? Kanjo is nutty good. So I normally don't put 3 of any holding in a deck, but I'm going to put 2 Favorable Grounds in. Start with that. We're going to move down. Not going to run Hito District. Not a fan. Not going to run Imperial Storehouse, and not the style deck we're running today. I have played with Milwaukee Kabe. I don't like it. It just doesn't feel right. Like that's a weird way to say it. This I think has to be in every lion deck. Um, in my opinion, this card is an auto include in every deck because it auto pushes the favor and it denies certain power cards that ability. So we're going to put the +1 in. Other than that, we have staging grounds. Now, I don't play a lot of staging grounds. I actually am only going to drop one into the deck. And there you go. Now, we're going to move on to your characters. And this is going to be the bulk of your power right here. Because Lion's Dynasty deck is really where the strength of the clan lies. So, let's do a quick dive into the Lion characters. I think the Akoto Gunso is good in every Lion deck currently out. It does not matter what you're trying to do. He's just good. So I'd run him. Just period, I'd run 3. So we will. We're going to run 3 of him. I don't run Totori. I don't care if you don't like it. No, I'm joking. Your opinion is totally valid. And please leave them down below. Tell me how dumb I am. Sorry for hitting the mic. But I don't think that he is worth the 5 cost. So, that's my opinion. We are going to move to Gifted Tactician. This I put up there with the Akoto Gunso. At 2 cost, I mean, Lion have some pretty solid 2-costers. I like him. So we're going to drop him in. Then we have the Honored General. Pretty just standardly awesome card. I definitely think that he is very good. Now, this is where I'm going to start losing some people. Leave your hate comments down below. But EG goes in this deck. When you're running the Crane Ally, EG's really nice because Honored, he can push both skills pretty well. But his primary function is to get Honored and then run through a political skill. Or even defend and bounce out more guys for your third conflict. To be able to cheat out a brawler when they go to try to break him is pretty good. So we're going to drop 1 EG into the deck. He's not for certain all the time, but he's just very nice. Again, this is a card that I feel every Lion deck has room for right now. And is just very, very good. So we're going to put 3 Coma Prodigies in. She's great. Period. End of discussion. Why? She's just good. So we're going to put 2 of her in. Now, Ujiaki is so clutch, you run 3. He makes or breaks games, to be honest with you. Makes or breaks them. So we're going to drop him in. Now, so far, I want you to keep a note. We have, what is that? 8 Bushi and 7 Shugenja. Or, not Shugenja, I'm sorry. 8 Bushi and 7 Courtiers. Keep these numbers in mind, because when we get to the Dynasty deck, when we get to the Conflict deck, it's going to matter a lot. Alright. Now, Spirit Caller is good because it can double tap characters off the box. Also, it's just tied for the best card, and it is in the top 3 cards in Lion. Easily. Ujiaki, Brawler, this character. End of discussion. You run 3. Now, this is a new ad, and I think that because you're trying to push so many conflicts in this style deck, running one of her as a utility character is pretty good. And Lion, especially out of this like super blitz out Breedy deck, because you're running mostly lower end cost, we'll hit more of them in a moment. I guess it's kind of a mid-range deck when you look at that, but we'll see at the end. I would run one of her. So, we move on to the Brawler. As mentioned, this card is insanity. Very good. I would run the Berserker. That's me. I think that he's better in the one slot Bushi, in the one cost Bushi slot, excuse me, than anyone else, for the reason that he can take a province with a bonsai by himself. And not all of them can. So we're going to put 3 of them in. I want to have people's opinions of this card down below. Please tell me what you think. I'm going to run 1. At 5 cost is expensive. You know what, guys? We're going to be ballsy. I'm actually thinking you run 2. He guarantees, more or less, that you hit the military. So we're going to run 2. That is a bold statement. That is a bold thing, but I would do it. I would run obstinate recruits also. Mostly because they're great to sack to the stronghold. They're free. They don't hurt you. In this deck, you'll see is kind of built to make honor, and it's very interesting. Also, the sheer fact that you're attacking so many times, if you get 3 attacks in, the likelihood that your opponent let in a single attack is rather high, because, number of characters, them attacking, things like that. So, taking all of that into account, there's actually a pretty solid chance that you're going to get an undefended or unopposed conflict in which they're going to lose honor. So, hopefully obstinate recruits are able to be, relevant in your deck. Moving down, I would run 2 of her for this deck. I don't think you need 3, but I really like 2. And then I would run... This is a hard one. This is probably the slot where you can make any decision you want. I'm going to be running Steadfast Samurai. The reason being is that I'm going to be able to get above honor most of the time. And he can trigger very well at swinging multiple times. Because having him stay in turns in play over many turns helps you form the massive bodies you need to hit the +5s, to swing 3 separate times. Things like that. Or even just to be able to sacrifice a guy. I'm going to run this one. I've had success lately, so sue me. And that's your Dynasty deck. Now, let's go ahead and move this party to where things get interesting. We are going to use Crane, Lion, and neutral cards. The only 3 we're really grabbing for, right, gang? Now, we're going to begin with something that I alluded to earlier. Lion, this deck specifically, has a very good spread of keywords between Courtier and Bushi. The Brawler being a Courtier and a Bushi is very strong. But Courtiers, we run 2, 5, 8, 11, 12. 12 Courtiers that are pretty good. Pretty good. Now, I'm thinking that Charge is the restricted card for this deck. It bups out bigger dudes, and people see it coming far less because it's a restricted card. So let's check this one out. We're going to go with Charge. And because it's a restricted card, I'm adding 3. Oh, I love the red around it to show it's restricted. Okay. I think every deck needs 3 court games. I just think it does. Keep your eye on this card. We're going to come back to it. I think that... What do you guys think are the must-have cards in every Lion deck? Look at it all, y'all. It's a sabotage. Sorry, I'm really sorry I had to do that. There was no questions. Looking through, we know we're going to have three-way of the lions. Okay, that's a pretty standard thing. I normally run 2 Oath Keepers, 3 Steward of Law. Great card. Specifically because of For Shame. Because you run so many courtiers, and this courtier, For Shame is a powerfully good card. I would run 2 routes in this deck. 2 Ready for Battles. Very good cards, but I don't think are the end-all be-all. Fair enough? Fair enough. We've got the Steward of Laws. Oh, all the other cards that I'm going to be running from it. So, this is where things get hokey. I could run Voice of Honor. Or I could try to run... this is a bad card, isn't it? I don't know. We're going to run 2 Outwit. I know that blows your minds, but an Honored EG will wreck anybody. End of discussion. Alright. For this deck, this character is good. I am a fan of this one in general. Again, tell me what you think down below and how wrong I could possibly be. Even the Odds is an interesting card. I run 2 in this specific version. Curry Favor. This is a card that makes the deck tick on some level in the version you're playing. Because if you're able to swing once, you can token swing a second time for that political. And even if you lose, you ready your character back up and you swing for a third one. It's going to force them to block multiple challenges. We're going to run 3. Now, we have 6 of our 12 influence taken. I like Censure. We're going to need to probably run 3 of it. Because we need to make sure that we're able to not just get wrecked. This is my 3rd slot. Ready for battle. Now, 6 cards left. I'm going to go ahead and drop down to them and show you what those 6 cards are. And kind of my thoughts behind them. Ready for Battle is going to be a 2 of in this deck. It's only reactionary. So, while it is very good, and don't mistake me, it's very good, I don't think it's the end-all be-all. There you go. Truth out. Boosh. Now, I'm sorry, but this is a card I would run 3 of. Then you have 1 slot remaining. Now, you can do you have a 2 card slot remaining. Did we add... Two Ready for Battles. Oh, we have 3 cards left. Alright, guys. I'm dumb. I missed it. Alright. Now, this deck... Do we have For Shame? Nope, that's the card we're missing. I would run 3. You run enough courtiers and everything that this deck's dirty. And this would be how I would build the new Lion Clan stronghold. Now, we are going to move into the final part of the deck, and that's going to be your provinces. In this deck, you want to defend as little as you can and stall as long as you can. I think that Ancestral Lands is the one you use for your stronghold most of the time. Before the Throne I like because it can give you your honor back up and kind of mess with your opponent. That's my air one I typically go for. We have Feast or Famine, which we all know every Lion deck is running, along with Art of War and Shameful Display. This is your lineup pretty much all the time. I think that this is not a bad deck. I think that you'll run into a major issue against Crab. Crab will be a very difficult match, along with Dragon probably, due to the fact that getting above 5 in them in one challenge is actually pretty hard to do. So keep that in mind as you test this deck, make tweaks. Again, remember that, I'm just one guy, and my opinion is not gospel. So, that is it for the deck construction of the new Lion Clan Stronghold and its deck that follows it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Couple of little housekeeping bits. We are going to be having our Stronghold Stronghold Season 2, event number 1, this coming July 6th at the Island Games in Chantilly, Virginia. We're going to be recording games, possibly streaming them, and then doing player interviews about how they feel about the new decks, emerging in the meta due to the new packs, and relevant topics such as clan locked roles and the tournament organization that we've had so far. Also, tune in. We're going to be giving a full review on the Age of Sigmar Champions card game. Myself and the Island store owner, Ian, will be taking care of that. And we're going to be trying to put up a new episode of Roku Talk coming soon. Look for information about the Seattle Kote, along with a breakdown of the AMA done by Tim Shields. I am pretty sure that that's it for everything. So, I'm Ryan Rocket, member of the Co-op Club, head judge for Cascade Games for L5R around the north east and along the eastern seaboard. And if you guys want to check out our other videos, please go ahead and check out the channel. Remember to like and subscribe. That's how we know we're doing an okay job. And if you want more videos like this, that's the only way we're going to know to make them. Other than that, guys, everyone take care, and I'll see you on the next one.